We are joined by a very special guest. Very special guest every week. Coach Alvin Gentry is with us here on the Nick Cattle Show, Sports 1140 KHTK. Coach, as always, thank you for the time. I've got to ask you this question as we start, because if I don't, I'm not doing my job. What are your thoughts on the Richaun Holmes situation?
Well, I think we put out a statement on that, and I don't think there's need to be nothing else need to be said about it. You know, I think as long as we have one voice in the organization, I don't feel the need to respond to anything about it. Really,
fair enough.
We support Richaun, and obviously, as I said earlier, and as the whole franchise and everybody else involved in it said, is that we don't condone anything that has to do with violence in any way. So I think from there we can just move on.
Fair enough. Let's talk about De'Aaron Fox. I saw that he will not play tomorrow. Any update on what's going on with Foxy?
Well, I mean, it's still a situation where, the hand, I mean, if you could just see it, I mean, it's still blue in the palm of it. And so, he's working out every day. He's doing everything that he possibly can. But, obviously this is not a situation where we're going to try to rush anybody back.
Coach, I know you don't have a crystal ball, but people want to know, what's the likelihood of him returning before the end of this season?
Don't know that. I mean, it would all depend, obviously, on how the healing goes and what goes on with it. But, trust me, he wants to be out there as badly as we want him out there.
Coach Alvin Gentry is with us here on the Nick Cattle Show. Let's talk about Domantas Sabonis. When Domas went down against the Suns last weekend, were you fearful of what was going on there, or did you know relatively soon that it wasn't that significant?
Well, I think what happens when you see it originally, and him being the really tough guy that he is, when you see him go down in that kind of pain, you obviously worry that it may be something serious, but obviously it wasn't. And what it is just a bone bruise, and hopefully everything's going to be fine there also. Now,
I said on the show, maybe I'm wrong about this, but usually the case is if it's an ACL, the medical staff can test that pretty much right away. Was that test done on the floor, and did you know relatively quickly that he was not dealing with any kind of ACL tear?
No, I did not know that. I mean, I knew that he was in pain, as I said, but, and I don't think, I think you can tell somewhat, but, it's not until the MRI come out that you realize that there was no structural damage there at all. So we got very lucky on that one. He got very lucky on that one also.
The decision to let him continue to play at least for a few seconds before you pulled him out, what was behind that decision?
Well, he just thought that it was fine. He thought that it was just, something that he could shake off. And I told him, listen, if you're out there for 10 seconds and you don't feel that way, to let us know. And he did. And so we took him out immediately.
All right, same question that I had for you for Domas as I had with Fox. Is it likely he's done for the year, Coach?
We don't know that yet. But, obviously, once again, I'll tell you that we would not take any kind of chance at all with him from that standpoint. If we were in a race and we were playing, obviously that would be something that you would consider, but we're not going to take a chance at all with an injury or creating another situation with him. So we'll be overly cautious, if anything.
Coach Alvin Gentry with us here on the Nick Cattle Show, Sports 1140 KHTK. All right, let's get to the game the other day in Indiana. Was it weird to see Hallie and Hield playing against you guys, or it is what it is? You've been around the block, and it's not that big of a deal.
No, I think it's tough, seeing Buddy and Tyrese. Those guys are just such an integral part of us, and such great personalities, and the way that what they brought to the team. And our guys spent a lot of time talking to them. I spent a lot of time talking to them. And obviously, we'd like to see them do well. And, obviously the guys that we traded for, we'd like to see them do well also. That's what trade should be. It should be beneficial for both teams.
No doubt about that. I wanted to get your thoughts on what Buddy Hield said after the game. He said that the Kings asked him to do nothing more but stand in the corner and shoot. as the head coach, do you agree with that sentiment? That's all you wanted Buddy to do was stand in the corner and shoot?
No, that's not a true statement. But I mean, if that's the way he feels, that's the way he feels. But no, that's not true at all.
That conversation never happened.
No, that conversation never happened, and I'm not sure if we would ask anybody to just stand in the corner and shoot.
When you watch Buddy play in Indiana, and you see 5 assists per game, he had 7 assists against you guys. Is there a thought process from you saying, could we have seen a little bit more of that from him here in Sacramento?
Well, I mean, I think that's easy to say, but we also had De'Aaron Fox, we had Davion, and we had Ty. Those guys are going to be the primary ball handlers, and what Buddy does is Buddy shoots the ball exceptionally well, and we tried to put him in positions where that would happen. We didn't really need him as a playmaker. Now, maybe Indiana does, but we didn't need him as a playmaker as much as we did for him to be a guy that could help us, spread the floor for Fox and those guys as far as driving angles, and then be able to stretch the floor by being able to shoot the three-point shot.
Coach Alvin Gentry with us here on this Friday. What's it like to see someone like Chimezie Metu, Coach, on Wednesday? He hasn't had consistent minutes since the trades were made. What's it like seeing him play the way he played in the first half on Wednesday?
Well, I think what you have is a guy, like you said, that is still learning. This is really the first time he's been a rotational player in the years that he's been in the league. And, I think he's getting better. I think he's working on his game. I think he's expanding his game. So it's not a huge surprise to us that he played the way he played. And the thing that we're going to try to do is get consistency in playing that way night in and night out.
I thought it was a great moment for him. And you could tell the team truly was in it for Chimezie as well, as he was, I think, having his best offensive game for sure as a King on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Coach, Davion, actually, before I get to Davion, I want to ask you about Damian Jones. He got the game-winning tip the other day. Again, he's another guy, much like Chimezie, inconsistent minutes. Tell us what you like most about Damian.
Well, I mean, I think what you're headed at is exactly why I love him, is that, I can sit him over there and not play him. You can stick him in the game, and he's going to give you everything you got, and he really is going to do something positive for you. So, obviously he would like to play consistent minutes, but the one thing about him is he's really a true pro because he's always ready to play for you in any situation, and I think that's a true pro.
Last one for you, Coach, this week. Now let's get to Davion. He has stepped up in some big moments in recent games. You look at the game on Sunday against Phoenix, he stepped up. You look at the game on Wednesday, he stepped up late. How much do you credit that to his college run last year?
Well, I think that has something to do with him, but also he's in a situation now where we have to have him do that. And the other thing is that, Rico Hines has done an absolutely great job with him as far as player development and putting him in situations, where he's expanding his game as far as being a little more offensive-minded and everything like that. So I think you take all of our player development guys, and you can see that we have guys that are getting better, and you have to credit them for some of that. And the other that is just the drive that Davion had. He's a little harder on himself than we are on him, but his work ethic. There's no way that kid could ever fail with the work ethic that he has.
Coach, thank you. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there in the trip that you guys are in the middle of. And thank you for answering the questions that I asked you today. I know not all of them are easy, and you're not doing jumping jacks to answer some of those. But I appreciate your time and your honesty, and I'll talk to you soon.
No problem. I totally understand. You have to ask what you have to ask, and I appreciate that.
Thanks, Coach. Talk to you next week.
All right. Okay, bye-bye.
So there goes Coach Gentry. A lot of interesting stuff he just shared with us.